Will Rogers Podcast
In
Studio.
the actual studio. So what the deal is we film here or we film at the other location if we have more people.
Yeah, it's kind of easier to get people in and out over there, when we're doing interviews and stuff. So.
Even with mine, I go, hey, I'd like to studio set up in the garage, and I was like, and I go, it's okay.
It's okay. It's okay.
Okay,
So what are we talking about today,
so
Sean?
we have a huge list. But let's start off with the biggest thing, which is Mike Mazzei getting endorsed by Trump. And that only cost him, what,
$67,000.
Which is pretty cheap, because
Usually
you
it went to Roger Stone, and that guy's broke, needs the money.
Yeah.
And so, but that seems to be the thing that's going on right now. Everybody who goes to Roger Stone and pays him some cash seems to get endorsed by Trump, no matter where you're at.
And no matter who you are,
Yeah.
it matters. And that may mean Mazzei is through, but I would say at this point, Gettner Drummond's got enough personal money he can continue to
Yeah. Well, he didn't. Well, that's a funny thing, right? He's the only one who hasn't.
Spending his own money.
He got money to loan himself.
Right.
All the other guys had to loan himself.
Yeah.
They can't get money.
Keating and McCall, I think, are both probably out at this point. McCall opened up with the banana stuff.
Keating.
And
Keating's a one-trick pony. He's only got the one thing. It's a red state ran like a blue state, which is baloney.
See, I think his one-trick pony is my dad was governor.
Yeah.
And if there's one thing we don't need anymore, is somebody whose dad used to be governor.
Yeah, well, he doesn't have, I guess he's worked on a couple of boards or whatever else.
Yeah, that doesn't mean anything. You're on boards, I've been on boards. It means nothing.
He became a cop because he's too dumb to do anything else.
You remember Todd Lamb was in the Secret Service, and people in the Secret Service were like, yeah, he wasn't anything.
He wasn't anything. Yeah, this private security. Well,
I'm just saying.
He's the president of UCO.
Yeah, well,
he was a wrestler back in the day too.
And he played college football. Yeah. Cool, but none of that has to do with governing.
No.
Do you remember he did the in vitro deal to? I'm trying to figure out a way to say it. We don't get banned.
Yeah.
A man was doing this with women that they were going to have to get in vitro checked for pregnancy. I think it's that's
right. Oh yeah, that's right.
A viable pregnancy or not. And
weirdos.
Todd, what a freak. And
I would
still say Todd, I think, plays for the other team.
So that's Mazzei, huh? Yeah, so Mazzei's got the endorsement.
Okay, Mazzei's a weirdo. If you watch the way Mazzei talks, walks, the way he leans, everything, the guy's weird.
What do I write down about that
property tax guy. He's
he's a Christian nationalist.
Yes.
Well, I watched.
And he did the school thing. Yeah.
He's like, this is the thing, right? So when it comes to, and this is what they said, it was just kind of creepy and totally draconian and anti-freedom as you could get when they were like, what do you think about the composting deal? What they're talking about here is just composting you in a urine with a tree. They're not talking about spreading you out on some commercial land somewhere.
I'd be for that too. I don't care.
But people's burial rights ought to be sacred to themselves.
To themselves
and
but
Mazzei was like, well, I'm a Christian, and to me, you should be buried. And it was like, wait a minute, what about cremation? The funny thing is, when I go, I want to be cremated.
Me too.
And I want to be spread around the woods where my cabin's at.
Right.
Guess what I'm going to be doing? Fertilizing crap.
That's right.
So that's what you do in the ashes, right? You're really just fertilizing stuff. So, he's against that. And it's like, because his Christian values,
not mine.
Not mine.
Yeah.
There's a thing called the free exercise clause in the First Amendment, which means I am free to exercise whatever I want. Hey, if Mike doesn't want to be cremated or be composted, wants worms crawling through his body, that's fine. He can do that. That's all up to him.
But let me tell you what's a weird comparative here. So conservative values are to take care of things. You pump your body full of all those chemicals and then put it in that ground. That ground is polluted permanently.
Yeah.
So it's not a conservative value.
Yeah, man, it's nice.
Bullshit.
You're going to be put in a concrete box inside another box. And I hate to tell you, when I went to UCO, they have a great funeral services program there. We have a few guys in my fraternity that went through that. And they told me all the gruesome stuff. It's like, if you're going to be buried, you might as well be an organ donor. You know why? Because you can't embalm certain organs inside your body, so they gut you.
Yes.
They do that called the Y cut, and they gut you, and then they stuff you full of cotton and fill you full of chemicals.
Right. And it's not good for the ground.
You don't get to keep it, so you might as well be an organ donor.
And Christian burials don't have to be that way.
I just think it's weird. I just
Yeah.
think it's weird.
That's-
You know, I think burials are weird because whenever you actually read the history in it,
Mhm.
you know, it was like here's a funny thing, and I don't know if we talked about this before, but this is where I really get off with Christianity, and it kind of goes off the rails with me. Is wait a minute, you know,
No.
back in about 35 ACE,
Yeah.
when Jesus supposedly died, the most prominent way to
Common
do
form of burial.
was cremation.
Yeah.
All the emperors of Rome were
That's always
cremated.
been everywhere. That's
Julius Caesar, Augustus Caesar, all that, they were cremated. That was the main way you were doing it, because burials were hella expensive. And that's just to be put in a catacomb
Yeah.
with a whole bunch of other dead bodies,
Who
much
you
less
don't
your
know.
own tomb.
Yeah.
You get your own tomb?
Yeah.
You gotta be Jeff Bezos rich
Yeah.
back then to
Yeah,
do
right.
that, and Jesus wasn't rich.
Yeah.
So there's no way that there's a skew with me, like, I don't match up with history,
All right.
man.
Let's-
So let's move on to something
Let's
else.
move on to the AG race. So you've got the guy named Starling who's related to Larry Nichols, weirdly enough. I think he's married
Larry
to one of
Nichols.
his kids, Devin Energy.
Oh,
And then you've
yeah.
got John Eccles, whose dad was a
John
lawyer.
Eccles,
They're very
oh my
successful
God.
lawyers. We'll get into Eccles here in a second.
Yeah.
So both of these guys do a debate, and both of them basically said that the other person was corrupt and incapable of doing the office. Now, there's one person that has not been accused of being corrupt and incapable of doing the office, and that is Coffee. And I'm
Coffee.
going to his deal today at Casino de Mino at 5:30.
Yeah, you guys need
It's
to
a
really,
meet
if
and
you
greet.
haven't, our audience probably should have by now, but you
Right.
really need to look into Coffee.
He's a good young man. I keep saying kid because my kids went to school with him. Smart,
Kid does,
been a
I guess,
federal,
you know, but
federal
smart,
prosecutor,
federal
all this stuff.
prosecutor.
His parents are both lawyers. Everybody's smart in that
He
deal.
will use the AG's office for the people, I
Right.
guarantee you.
Instead of literally nothing against Drummond personally, because we're not there yet. I'll
Yeah.
get him when we get to it. But Drummond's people are really good at interviewing and saying they're going to do stuff, and then nothing happens.
Yeah.
And that bothers me.
And-
So let's
but-
get into Eccles.
Let's
real
get into
quick.
Eccles, because he's running for AG, and he's
So-
just corrupt as hell. And the reason why he wants to be AG is to save his own butt, I think.
You might be right.
Because you see, he's the president and founder of a place called Turnkey Health. And if you haven't heard of it, you got to Google this stuff. It is some crazy stuff. They're being sued right now several hundred times
Yeah.
for go ahead and talk about it.
So when Kevin Calvi got into the county commissioner's office and got his hands on the jail, he brought in Eccles
Yeah.
to run a medical company that was more low budget.
Yeah.
And I think I can say all of this without being sued. So instead of having actual doctors there, they were doing telehealth.
Yeah.
But his people were assholes and they were awful.
They're
They really
Well,
were.
look, they killed a guy in Georgia because they left him in a restraint chair for like 13 hours. It's supposed to be an hour, and this guy was in his 70s and he was bad health.
Let me tell you the single worst thing in Oklahoma County, and his company was in charge.
Yeah.
So you don't get to say it's not your
And
responsibility.
they do
if
this
you're in charge.
around the country, guys. This
So-
Turkey Health, they do
Yeah,
jailhouse
But they started it in Oklahoma
medical.
County.
Yeah, they started it here with
So-
John Eccles.
So he had
He's in trouble.
a pregnant woman, 9 months pregnant, on the floor, disgusting circumstances, but she was 9 months pregnant,
Yeah.
ready to have the kid. That's probably the weirdest thing I'd seen. And she was sick, of course, because she's up on the floor.
Yeah.
But there were more deaths at the jail, and you can blame it on whoever you want, but
Yeah.
if you're in charge of medical, here's the caveat he had. He cut a deal with them where the county had to cover the lawsuits.
Yeah.
So he didn't even have to cover it.
Yeah, cover him, huh?
For his
Yeah,
own
that's
people,
even
which
sick,
is
man.
bullshit.
So this is why John Eccles wants to be AG, mostly to save his own butt because he's being sued. He's got people in his organization that are being criminally charged for neglect and homicide. And the guy is greasy as hell. And that doesn't get us to Polson,
Yeah.
who were like, they got him on a
Well,
recording.
you have to
like,
tell people that Polson's wife got arrested for a DUI where she'd had a terrible accident.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
and then her husband pulled out, the cards and
Called
called
the
the
governor,
governor
called-
and John
and we
Eccles.
donated to
Gave him
Eccles.
some money, and so they helped get her out
Now,
of jail.
I'm not saying he's guilty
Me
for,
neither,
because
yeah,
he took donations. Everybody does, but he did
Yeah.
give them back.
He did give it back.
And look, I don't have anything necessarily against him, but I'm telling you, Coffee's clean.
I'm telling you,
And if
look
both
who
of
he hangs
these
out
guys
with. Look who John Eccles hangs out with. Look what he runs. Look how he runs it.
Yeah.
And then to me, I was like, oh, he's running for AG because he's got his butt to sling to save it.
There may very well be something to that. I think that's a legitimate complaint to be had.
Yeah.
There are tons and tons and tons of lawsuits, but if he has the same deal in every place where the county has to pay for it,
Oh yeah.
they're not out anything. They just provided medical. And it was a smart way to go in and go, we can save you money. I mean,
Yeah.
it was But it was because of his friendship with Kevin Calvi. And this is
Oh,
the
yeah.
thing, when your friends get elected and they talk about people doing stuff, this is a bad example. OU Medical used to handle it before that and made 2 or 3 deaths a year.
Oh, you medical, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that's, yeah.
So they
it's
took
amazing.
the
That
contract
tells
out
you-
and
that
gave it
tells
to a legislator that was a lawyer.
Huh.
Yeah, that makes sense.
you. Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah,
Let's talk about,
okay.
let's talk about one of our favorite subjects here, minimum wage.
Oh, so Kit and I are not on the same page on this, and that's
No.
okay.
You know, that's fine. That's why I
Yeah.
do my segment. It's kind
Right.
of popular, man, on Facebook. And it actually is called Kit's Unpopular Opinion of the Week. Because you know what?
You go first.
I'm fairly down the middle when it comes to liberal conservative scale. I'm kind of in the middle. You know, I might tick over to the left a little bit. So I do have some certain reservations because, you know, yeah, I am in management. I've been in management my
Me
whole
too.
freaking life.
Me too.
And that's just how that is. And I see from that perspective, like, yeah, you know, minimum wage, $7.25 an hour, way too low.
Right.
That's way too low.
We all can agree on that.
Even our red state friends over in
Arkansas.
have like $11-12 an hour minimum.
Yeah.
And it's Arkansas, you know, even like Mississippi, you know, and stuff like that. And you're like, okay, Oklahoma, we need to, $7.25 is way too low.
Right.
I personally, I'm coming to grips because, you know, whenever I'm to the right of Leslie Osborne, I gotta like, I really
Yeah.
readjust my segue here, right? So I'm like, wait a minute, you know, $15, man, that sounds a little steep. I say at least 12. It needs to be at least
So I
12.
think the deal is they go up to 11 and then it's an incremental
incremental.
increase to 15.
215.
So I would say what has killed this every time they bring it up is they pick a number that's too high.
Too high.
And the first time it was happening, I got friends of mine,
Yeah.
O'Connor, that's involved, and that time they wanted to go from 725, I think it was to 10 and then something. And then I said, well, you can probably get the 10, you're not gonna get this other stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't pay minimum wage at my restaurants. I've never, you can't get quality people for it.
No.
But you know who does? Kevin Hearn with all of his
Kevin
McDonald's.
Hearn. Yeah.
And I would say Ostro, the guy running for lieutenant governor, owned a bunch of Taco Bells.
Okay.
So they get people in, starter people and everything else, and that's the only people that work for $7.25 an hour. But us as a society end up covering their medical, their
Yeah.
food, their housing.
Pretty much at the end of the day.
Right. We used to do it for Walmart, and they finally had to start paying more because they couldn't
Yeah.
get any people. But they're still working the system.
Yeah.
Kevin Hearn retired with $100 million from owning 10 McDonald's because he didn't pay people shit. So on the back of the lowest end of labor, he made his fortune.
So what do you
And
think?
we paid for it.
I think
That's
honestly,
what I-
you need to go out and vote yes. We need to vote yes
We-
on the state
we have
question.
to
We
change
need
it.
to,
Right.
man. 725
Yeah.
is too low.
Right.
It's almost dang near embarrassing. And
But I
we
wish-
need to change that.
I
So
wish the
vote yes on it.
caveats wouldn't have been in there. the way they were.
I'm voting yes on it. Surprise, surprise.
Even though he doesn't like it.
Even though I was like, okay,
Yeah.
but I get it.
Yeah.
And
So just the big thing for anybody to realize is any real companies aren't paying this anyway.
yeah.
These are just the people that are scamming off the backs of labor. And
Man, look,
we are
I don't
paying
pay
for it.
anybody that low.
Yeah.
You know, I
Well,
mean,
you
I am
can't.
involved.
You have a
hey, look,
professional
look,
job.
I have a professional in my the business that I absolutely run.
Yeah.
No one makes under 20
Right.
because hey man, it's skilled labor.
It's skilled
You've got to be
labor.
highly skilled to do
Okay.
what we're doing in the engineering field.
Yeah.
But you know the other stuff that I'm highly invested in, like Motomart,
Yeah.
which if you're not familiar with, it's
Convenience
a
store.
chain of convenience stores in basically Illinois,
Missouri as
Wisconsin,
well.
Kansas, Missouri. And so I'm heavily invested in that. So we're not getting into that. But anyway, but we pay 12.
Right.
And
That's
well,
right.
if you're in Illinois or anywhere else, Missouri has actually a
That's
higher minimum
right.
wage.
I think theirs is 15. Yeah. So I don't think anybody, remember when Mary Fallon was in office?
Yeah.
That's when all this started. So they're trying to, the two cities, Tulsa and Oklahoma City, tried to do their own referendum
Yeah.
to do a minimum wage in the two cities, which is acceptable. It costs
Yeah.
more to live.
And so what did she do? She created big government to tell these smaller cities and
What to do.
smaller
Right.
governments what they're going to do. That's big government.
Right. Once again, Mary Fallon, who was really friendly and nice and easy to like, her policies are killing us now.
Yeah.
Because that's when
And
education.
she was willing. She was corrupt too. She took a lot of freaking oil money and let them do whatever.
Private prison money.
Private
Her
prison
and
money.
Todd Lang.
And you know who else did that too? That was
Todd
Neil
Lang.
Keating.
Oh, yeah.
Keating did too. He's the
Keating
one who
was the
started
prison
all
guy.
that stuff. Like, where do you do private prisons?
Yeah.
Why? Well, he just gave you a bunch of money.
Because it's a hotel that they get guaranteed 95% occupancy. Isn't that crazy?
With minimum
So-
wage, go vote for it.
So I am a yes on minimum wage. Is there stuff about it that I'm not looking for a reason not to vote for something? And so you ever talk to somebody and they will make like a racist comment and you go, dude, and they go, yeah, I've got black friends. That's how I feel anybody that won't vote for this. Well, I don't like the language. And you go, show me in the language what bothers you.
What bothers you?
So one was a lady that owned a farm. And she said, what about people in the farming industries? And I said, well, I mean, I think you have two problems. Nobody's working on a farm for $7.25 an hour
No.
anymore. They're not doing it, so that's bullshit. And I said, but the other one is your guy has scared everybody away from coming up and doing seasonal labor.
Yeah,
That's your guy.
that's your guy.
That's your guy did that. So the rural areas of the country voted him in, and that's the consequence. So
Yeah.
you have to pay your workers more money. Instead of us paying for your workers' houses, medical, and food, pay them enough money and charge us more for our food.
Yeah.
It would get spread out easy. That is what capitalism is.
Yeah.
Capitalism isn't where the government is funding your employees because you don't want to pay them more.
No.
That's a subsidy.
Yeah, that's a
So,
subsidy.
have I bitched
I know,
enough?
Yep. There you go, man. You know, I got a couple other things here.
Okay,
One,
sorry.
I don't know what to talk about first.
Get
is
off on
that-
that tangent.
Remember we were talking about a few times several
What?
months ago, a guy named Gino DeMarco.
Oh,
There's a guy you need to Google, Gino DeMarco. Somebody please.
somebody's gone missing with a
Somebody
suitcase.
find. Hey man, somebody's gone missing.
Allegedly,
Gone.
with a suitcase of cash.
He's
He is.
left the building. I'm not kidding you, because
Okay.
this guy is
So let's talk
everything.
about Swadley, because that's
Swadley, that's the whole deal. He's the scapegoat.
Squadley, $16-17 million.
Yeah.
Is what he made on it. So, you had this ranch
Makes you
on
wonder
the
what
way to-
Gino DeMarco got away with.
Right, exactly. And you go, Lieutenant Governor Matt Pinnell, no trouble whatsoever. Gino DeMarco, no trouble, and he made
Winchester
deal.
had to resign.
it's
Yeah.
bullshit.
Well, here's the thing about Gino DeMarco. If you
Yeah.
remember, I got a whole list.
He went to our
It
church.
goes back.
Christ
Really?
King. Oh yeah.
So PPE, he was a PPE, the Department of Health, with tens of millions
Yeah.
come up missing there and accounted for, and still, oh no.
Okay, I'll explain this to you. And hear the deal because we got
And then he was like, he was awesome. And then he goes on to be the deputy director of tourism, and his name is all over the Swadley stuff, all over it. And then all of a sudden, he's gone.
Yeah,
All of a sudden,
literally.
I tried to look him up.
You
Yeah,
tried
I'm in
anyway.
property, I'm in real estate, I understand that stuff. So anyway, so one thing, I tried to find him, and he sold all his property in
Yeah, and
Oklahoma.
moved.
He's gone. Out of here.
So it's called purposeful incompetence, and this is what's happening in government everywhere, our city, county, and on. So you bring in a guy
Yeah.
or a gal that doesn't know what they're doing. I'm going to use a lady named Jessica Clayton down at the county, just as an example. I don't like her or dislike her because she did get endorsed by the Oklahoma City Chamber of Commerce PAC.
Yeah.
Okay, literally Brian Mon created a job for her, which is manager of the county. She didn't work there before, so
Oh,
she's been
yeah.
working there. And then
How much is it costing us?
Right, $100,000.
No,
And
it's
then-
more than that.
Oh, was it
It's like 147,000 a year.
So no
Good
need,
job.
no need for the job. But anyway, she gets the job,
Yeah.
and then he gets her to run for District 3 County Commissioner. And of course, she gets endorsed by the Oklahoma City Chamber of Commerce PAC. She's only been on the job a year. This is not somebody you want in charge of your chamber.
Yeah.
But the chamber just took Brian Mon's list of people and put them on there because we have 10-time felon
Yeah.
Ferlin Kearns
Oh boy.
that they endorsed
Oh,
also.
boy.
What egg on
Do
your
you guys
face?
even vet people anymore?
No, they didn't vet anybody. I will tell
It's
you,
all about money. We'll vet. The
They
vetting
went
is
to
how
jail.
much money can we get from you?
right, the jail. Because they spent the $260 million and they want to get this $700 million in there and do their stuff. But she's a good example. Jessica Clayton, nothing against her. She's nice. But you went from zero to manager of the county
Holy crap! And with 150 grand a year.
surveillance. And I'm not a paranoid,
Yeah.
crazy person. Everybody's watching me because you already give them your phone. They're on your phone. But the data centers are eating up water resources
Yeah.
with very few jobs.
A whole bunch of new
And then
infrastructure needs to be built that they want
and-
residents to
And
pay
they get
for.
deals on electricity
Yeah.
that we don't get.
We don't get. They get
So
a
here's
cheaper
my
rate
big
on their
thing to look at.
electricity.
Yeah.
They make the residents pay for the new infrastructure
And
that
the
needs to be
water
built.
usage is
The
insane.
water usage is insane.
Yeah. So why don't they find some other way to cool these things?
Yeah, I know.
I mean, Nobody would really
Come on.
complain if you weren't eating a
Come
whole
on,
week.
yeah, mechanical engineers, computer engineers, you guys need to do
You
better.
can do better
job.
than that,
You can
right?
do better. You
Yeah.
can do better. I
Right.
guarantee it.
Get off the game machines and let's get some stuff done.
Yeah, no kidding. So,
All right, buddy,
yeah,
let's get out of here.
Let's get out of here. Woo!
Hey.
1942. Here we go.
I don't know if you're gonna put one out or not, but I am eventually gonna have a sheet of people that I don't believe you should vote for.
Yeah,
I
that's a
put
good
out my
idea.
first one
I'll do that
today,
too.
which was superintendents, and the only two that
Yeah.
made it through were McVeigh and Franklin. Everybody else, don't vote for them.
Don't
And I
vote.
really mean this. I'm not endorsing anybody, but I'm gonna
I'll tell you who not to
who
vote for. Eccles.
Eccles.
That guy does not need to be our AG. He's
Yeah.
as, I don't know that he's as corrupt as
Yeah.
O'Connor was, but he's pretty corrupt.
And if you want to meet Nick Coffey, from
Nick
Cedar
Coffey.
Domino, 5:30 tonight on the south side.
That's good.
All right, see you there,
Get
man.
out of here.
All right.
Hey, it's the Will Rogers Experiment Podcast for this week, guys. We'll see you next time. Later.
There we go. Good show.
Yeah, that was a good